Hello, welcome to this, your daily briefing. Perhaps less of a daily briefing and more of an England debriefing. We certainly had a pants pulled down by the Italians last night. I have to say that, and I know I have to be careful what I say because everybody's so offended by absolutely everything these days. But wouldn't it be lovely if England had a manager? And I don't know if they exist. Maybe they're the same in every country. I mean, I don't follow every single press report, every presser. But wouldn't it be lovely if England had a manager who was able to speak normally and to go about his business normally? And by that, I mean, take the best players that the country has to offer from all the domestic leagues and put together a squad of however many it is and play them to their strengths in order to win something. And I had a sinking feeling, a huge sinking feeling. I've been watching England get better throughout the tournament, but I was very conscious of the fact that England had played a number of duff sides that didn't really tell us very much about, the substance that we had. And my heart really sunk listening to Southgate before the game. And he was talking about inclusivity and diversity. My world that I live in is a meritocracy. So I don't care if you're pink with blue spots, gay, straight or Australian. If you can fix whatever is causing my downstairs loo to keep making this sort of weird trickling noise and my water bill's gone up as a result, then you're very welcome into my home and I'll pay you the going rate. But this whole, and I just feel that if he, and I'm talking about Southgate, not the plumber, I just feel if Southgate could have focused his efforts entirely upon his job, which was England manager and not society healer, then perhaps he may not have, and if you'll forgive the pun, taken his eye off the ball. Wrote this morning, when things get sticky with Espiritu Santo, and they certainly will, we can take some comfort in the safe and certain knowledge that Gareth Southgate could have been given the Tottenham job. What's been brilliant about this tournament is that football fans have been allowed out of their homes again, which is a massive leap forward. And that means we've been talking to each other again. And it can't be underestimated the value of friends and acquaintances chatting about football in pubs and coffee shops. That's what keeps a lot of society going, is the contact that people have with strangers. And I've found over the years football to be a great leveller. You can walk into any bar in the world virtually, and if there's a TV screen on, you can strike up a conversation with somebody who's a fellow football person. So the brushstroke comments that I've picked up from people are that even Harry Kane dementors, even those that don't appreciate Kane at club level, could spot that he didn't get enough service. And that Raheem Sterling, and this is the queerest one of all, Raheem Sterling, how many goals has Sterling scored for Manchester City this season? Just throwing it out to the audience. Anybody got any ideas? No? Right. He's joint 20th. This is in the weeds. This is in the long grass. This is not a prolific top flight goal scorer. Yet the focus of the team has been that he's kind of number one, and Harry Kane is happy to be the number two, the setback guy who can dig a little bit deeper, and that's the way it would work. And I don't mind what the pecking order is, but I think to share is divine. And so you have this business where Sterling has no form, or very extremely modest form domestically, and then internationally he is almost like an obstruction himself. And he's, I think, to put it into simple language, into baby words, he's a good example of bad greed. Because I don't want my strikers to look to lay the ball off every time they get it. I want their first instinct to be, how can I get past this thing in front of me and get the ball in the net? But Sterling's just goes off like a wind-up toy. And as I've said before, more blind alleys than Eric Lamela. But fans have been picking up on this. The ones that I've been speaking to have. And they've criticised Sterling's decision-making. And they've also criticised the fact that Jack Grealish hasn't been given a fair shake of the stick. So anyway, bad greed. So England's expected goals activity. Oh, and this is another thing. Going to introduce a little bit of stats to support this, that and the other, but for illumination opposed to support. And we've found a really good system, and it's better than Zoom. So hopefully by the weekend, maybe, we can get that up and running, which basically means we can have like slides going off in the background and stuff. So I'm not describing a Mona Lisa down the phone to you. Expected goal ratio struggled. It was 0.79. And then we get this business that, that the Italians over-delivered on their expected goal ratios. Maguire and Shaw. Now, I understand that Shaw scored, but let's be straight with each other. That wasn't the primary reason his name was put on the team sheet. But the expected goal, the people who had shots for England, was packed with people who shouldn't have bloody been there. And the emphasis was not on the primary job. Just like with Southgate, I don't think his focus was entirely upon the job in hand. The Italians passed more frequently. The Italians passed with greater accuracy. Harry Kane had 45 touches, which in an isolated form sounds like he was involved, but this was desperate scrapping. There was nothing particularly thoughtful or clever or inventive about any of his touches. And this is a player that during the season, this is the point, that you've got this guy on the periphery and you say to yourself, well, and you've got clowns like Carragher saying, he's got to do more for himself. In the league, he scored 33 goals, 17 assists, and picking up a Golden Boot and Playmaker award in the process. Why is it, if we distill all of the players in the top flight of English football and surround Harry Kane supposedly with the best players that are available to him, that we don't even get a hint of this activity that was in the domestic league? It doesn't make any sense. So until something changes, and I don't think it ever will, because this is why the FA didn't hire Clough, and this is why when the FA have dealt with, shall we say, the more wide boy element of the audience, such as Venables, things have gone wrong. They don't know how to deal with people, and you miss out on managers like, say, Harry Redknapp. But until things change, the ability to enhance the chances of the players is going to remain really, really low. And the whole thing of watching England last night, and I'd be surprised if I'm off beam here, is that it must have struck a chord with a few Tottenham fans. That this was like, after watching I Think I Can, that little kid story about the train going up the side of the mountain. And then you find out that you actually can't at all. And you're using this appalling language, this placating language, this corruption of language about, oh yeah, but we got to a final for the first time. No, you lost. You lost. You go to the fun fair and you don't win a teddy, but you have a brilliant time throwing darts at the balloons or trying to hoopla a duck, right? That's the point of going to the fun fair. It's great if you can walk out with a big stuffed toy that costs 50p to make in Asia, but it's about winning in football and professional sports. So making it to a final, it doesn't count. I'm sorry, it just doesn't count. And until that changes, this is just another un-merry-go-round that will continue to grind forever. I hope something has been learnt by this tournament from England, but my fear is we'll get some holistic spin will come out of Southgate or the FA, and nothing will have been learnt at all. I'll leave it with this as well, because I didn't make a big deal of it, because I just thought, you know, how many holes are you going to pick in things? But there are actually Tottenham fans out there, and you know who you are, who were mumbling on social media, mumbling that if England won the Euros, that this title, this trophy, might placate Harry Kane and get him to stay. I think anybody coming up with stuff like that is a bit damaged. That's the nice way I can describe you. Yeah, a bit damaged. You're a tin without a label with a dink in it. Don't know if it's dog food or pineapple chunks. That's what you are. But your real problem this morning is that he has not been placated. He's not won anything. And I can tell you for certain, Harry Kane won't be waking up this morning and saying, got to a final for the first time in 50 years. Not at all. Those won't be his thoughts. Right, I am on the hunt for some proper Tottenham related stuff. And if I find anything, I shall return. Good luck. Keep it time.